All right, we're at Grayleys Gaming. We just got back from the Detroit Michigan Regionals. We're here with Rashaun. Rashaun, what deck you playing and how did you do at the event?
I played Prank Kid Adventure, and for my time at the event, I went 7-2, placed 23rd.
Very nice.
For my Prank Kids lineup, for my monsters, we're going to start with them. I got 3 fansies. I am playing the 53 card build. Just for the event. After the event, I cut it back down to 50. But on the day of the event, I did cut to 53 of the last second choice, and I think it was good. And I went with 3 Dropsies. This is my personal one I like to start with first, of all the Prank Kids. And then 3 Fire, 3 Lampsies, and of course 2 Roxies. Now, people always say I should start with this one first, but I think that is completely wrong in my opinion, because Roxy's effect is good to get that draw in. And you cycle through all the other kids to slim out the deck. So when you do your draw phase off of Roxy, you can hopefully have a higher chance of drawing into a Hand Trap and Diffusion Destiny or to drop it. And we're going to move on to the Adventure package. I got 3 Water Enchantresses, followed by the 1 Griffin. The DP package with the Dasher and Celestial. And now we're on to the Hand Traps line. And we have 3 Bell, just for Despia. This kills that deck, especially branded in red. And 3 Ghost Ogre, all for the Fateful package. Knock that deck out. 2 Joel and Lockbird, and 3 Ash. And to end with the Hand Traps, I have 2 more. Yep. 1 and 2 Imperms. And that ends my hand trap lineup. And every hand I at least saw 1, and if I saw more than 1, it was just good.
You're trying to see at least 1 per hand then?
Oh yeah, at least 1 per hand. And since my matchups at the tournament were 5 of the 9 games were against Despia something, it was really good to see, especially Bella Ash.
That's crazy. So many Despia decks at the event.
There were way too many in my opinion. But you know, deck's new, deck's popular, people gonna play it.
Yeah.
And I almost forgot the 1 effect there. And now we're on to the spells and just spells. Yeah, I only play the 2 traps. And we have 3 plays. Again, additional kids. More searchers. If I have a kid in the hand's a good, Ash target because they do not want you to get you a kid to your hand because it's literally a 1-card combo. And the 1-0s, a Prank Kids Pranks. This here is for the grind, and if they banish this, it only happened once, and I still won that game. But it does hurt if I cannot resolve it. Only 1 of the future spell, Pandemonium. And in all honesty, I almost never used it, but anytime I did use it to make Battle Butler, and personally Battle Butler, I always won that game. And 3 Lights, a really good card. Just like so, this engine is just really stupid.
Best card in the game right now.
It really is. I draw into it so many times, and if I do, it just goes off. And followed by the 1 Fateful, the straight up Ogre target. Almost never resolve it. It gets hit all the time. And the 1 Draco back. In my opinion, I might bring this up to 2 because it gets hit with Ogre all the time. And then the 3 Droplets. I main deck this ever since I got them. I've never seen them in my side deck, and it has been a good choice to be in the main because this has saved me in plenty of situations. And another good searcher right here, 3 Small World, gets me into any kid, 2 Water Enchantress, and into any one of my hand traps.
I love that card.
I love that card. I drew into this. This is one of the cards I drew into with Roxy's, used it, and I had a Bell in my hand. And the opponent immediately scooped.
Wow.
Immediately. He just saw what I did. It was like, oh, you got Bell? And I'm going, oh, you win. You win. That was it. And then this here was the 3 cards I added in the last second. 3 Crossout Designator.
How'd you like the Designator?
The Designator did come up a few times. I did cross out a crossout.
Wow.
And I always wanted to do that, and I managed to pull it off. That was epic. And that was against a guy who was playing Based. So yeah, that one was epic right there. Just literally going back and forth our crossouts. And then the last 3 end up in the main deck. 2 Fusion Destiny. This deck really, I mean, I could go into DPE very easily if I give up my Prank engine. But, I just rather not, in my opinion. I'd rather just hard draw into it, and hopefully I do. And then the one Foolish Burial, which in this deck there's literally only one target, and that is Water Enchantress herself, to get her into the grave to activate her effect.
Nice.
And that ends my main deck lineup. And I've made adjustments to that main deck since then, since the tournament, but very much the same. Only cards I really took out were the 3 crossouts.
Do you like the 53 count?
The 53 I liked at the regionals due to the fact that it was a bigger venue, a wider base. So I feel like, and it was different than a locals arena. At locals, I know who I'm playing against. I know what they have. But the crossout was meant for a wider base to get good people played all kinds of hand traps, and it was good. It was a good choice to put in.
Well, let's see the extra deck then.
Yeah, on to the extra deck. We have, of course, 2 of my Battle Butlers. I'm probably going to take one out and just go to 1 in period, because I only ever made 1. I've never made the second one in 1 duel, never. And I thought I might have needed it, but I really don't think I do. But anytime I have seen on the board, it was, a Raigeki. 2 Raigeki, especially if you have Meow Meow in the graveyard. It's nuts. And one of my opponents didn't know this card, and he sent it to the graveyard, but I just let it through. And effect pops, I just bring back more of my kids. And then for my kid fusions, Weather Washer and Rocket Ride. Very good. Weather Washer is very good, especially going against the striker. They couldn't activate anything in response, and it was just 2-0'd them very easily. Rocket Ride saved me during my turn going up against a Dragon League player. When he used talents on my hands, he spun back the droplet. He had 3 kids in hand. He knew it, and I top decked a Pandemonium.
Wow.
Yep.
That's dirty.
It was dirty. And then the last fusion, non-kid, but very universally used, DPE himself.
Did you make him a lot in the tournament
In the tournament, as not a lot as I thought I would have, but if I got hit with a lot of hand traps, as Prank Kids does, they just make him use so many hand traps, and if I have to, I end with DPE.
Very nice.
And with Prank still on board. And so I still get my recycle, and I draw into hand traps, hopefully. And then on to my links. We'll start off the end here. I play 2 Link Spiders. And this actually came up when the opponent outed my board with a Nibiru, and I still had Prank, so I never used it. So I turned their Nibiru token into a Link Spider, and my Prank's token into a Link Spider, and made DPE.
Wow.
And he wasted, I think, 3 hand traps. He drew into nothing and scooped.
That's some powerful foresight to run too.
It is. This was a good choice.
Big brain plays right there.
That was a good choice right there. Followed up by 2 Anacondas.
So why 2?
Why 2? Because people shotgun. They really do. By shotgun, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know, is that as soon as you make DP, they make Anaconda, they impermanent or Veiler it as soon as it's summoned. Alright, they should wait until the cost is made to completely nullify its effect. And then I go into a second one.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and that, again, has came up.
Wow.
Yeah, sad times when they shotgun like that.
Too many hand traps, huh?
Too many hand traps. The 1 Unicorn. And the Unicorn, I've never needed to use its effect during the tournament, but I made it quite a bit just so I can go into Access Code Talker. I only made him, I think, 3 times in all the duels, and that was just to completely shut them down and break the board.
Every time you summon him, it's a game winner then.
It
right?
is a game winner right there. And it was clutch every time I made him, too.
Nice.
And, of course, the hopefully not Subaru band, Meow Meow. Alright, is a solid 1-of. Love this card, recycle it all the time. Especially if I get hit with so many hand traps and I know I'm not going to make Battle Butler. I just put him right back into the extra deck and come next turn, start again. Good, Link 1 starts all the plays. And then 2 Doodle Doos.
Any, the dog?
And the dog, yep. And of course the 1-of Bow Wow Bark.
So what's the ratio there? Is it usually 2 and then the 1 dog, or is it?
I've seen 3 birds and 1 dog. But for me, though, personally, I'm going to cut down the Battle Butler to 1 and maybe increase the dog up to 2.
Gotcha.
So I'll run 2 birds along with 2 dogs. because this card is really good because you use it on your opponent's turn to tag out to add prank kick cards from your graveyard to your hand.
Gotcha.
So that one's really good. And then we'll move on to the side deck.
Yeah, see the side.
Side deck here, I got the card that loves me so much. 3 evenly matched. This card has come up a bunch, and they were very salty. I even went against a guy who apparently has never seen this card and was astonished about it, that they went face down and he couldn't activate their effects. And he even called over a judge to begin with because his card was unaffected by card effects.
Wow, yeah, that does work like that.
It does work like that because this does not affect the cards or the board, it affects the player.
Yep.
The player must choose what he wants to keep to match me.
Did you ever not side this card in?
Yeah, there were times where I didn't side this card in, especially if I went against where I thought they were going to make me go first, especially based on the kind of deck they were playing.
Ah,
But
okay.
there was a few times, I cannot remember exactly, but I knew that they were going to make me go first. So yeah, so it kind of I just didn't side it in. And then 3D barrier. Another card where I should have tested in locals more, but added in the last second, again for the wider venue and getting ready for branded anything. This shut them down. If I know I'm going first, this is going in, and I call fusions the moment I see anything. I want it out.
It was a good call then.
It was a good call, because I had 5 duels against branded Despia, and I went 3-2 against that.
Wow.
Every other deck, I think it was Sky Striker based, Dragon Link, and the last guy played really, really bad, and I didn't really see what kind of deck he was playing. It was just. Ugh. 3 token collectors. This card should be banned. This card was good that weekend. It shut down the whole Faithful package. It shut down Sword Souls, even though I never went against Sword Souls. But this really did destroy the Faithful engine. The whole Riot package, just nasty card. And a card that does well with this deck. There can only be one.
Oh, this card's nasty.
This card's nasty. I side this card in every time I was going first. There wasn't a time I didn't side this card in.
Did you see it a lot? Like, did you get to use it?
Oh, I used it a lot when I saw it, but did I see it a lot? No, I did not. But when I did see it, I used it. That is for sure. And of course, I had the more problematic cards that, again, works well with this deck. 2 skill drains.
The skill drain.
Oh yeah, I didn't have the 3rd. I looked for 1, couldn't attain 1 by the time I went in with 2, and I've actually saw it more times than I saw these.
Wow.
Yep.
So you like the floodgates when you're going first then?
Oh yeah, I set them up, make sure, because another guy had to call a judge over due to the fact skill drain was on board, along with Battle Butler.
Wow.
All my fusions and the other cards tag out tribute, and I expect they should know that, but it's understandable. Judge calls, gets over, and we continue the game. And the last card for back row hate was Harpy's Feathers.
All right.
Very good.
Well, thanks for the profile, and congratulations on the top. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, so I'd like to give a shout out to all my boys that went there, from Jerry all the way up to Gage, and you as well. And of course to the store, my locals I go to, Great Lakes Gaming,
Right
that
on.
I straight up represented with pride.
That's what's up. Thanks, man.